Right. So in this video, I'll be talking about what I've learned in the first few months of 2024. The first thing I learned was done is better than perfect. You see, at the start of 2024, I wanted to start making more YouTube videos, but I procrastinated because they didn't seem like it was good enough. I thought that I needed the perfect idea, thumbnail, and title, but in the end, I just didn't make videos. Seeing that, I should have just made more videos and edited them and make them better over time. I could have made videos private if I didn't like it. But what held me back was that I thought I needed to achieve some kind of standard set by somebody else. And I think we tend to see some result that other people have and expect ourselves to achieve that result. But in reality, we don't really see how other people ended up achieving that result. So it's kind of like we had set unrealistic expectations for us. So this really reminded me that I should just focus on the process and just making more YouTube videos, writing more, studying more, learning more, all these things that I want a result from. I should just detach from the result and just focus on being done than just being perfect. The second lesson was to follow my desires. So for context, there's this really cool concept that I learned from Gretchen Rubin. She's an author, and she talked about the four tendencies. Basically, we follow internal expectations and external expectations. Internal expectations are the things that we tell ourselves. So like, oh, I'm gonna have a better diet. External expectations are things that other people tell us to do, like, oh, you should go to work at this particular time. The problem is not everyone responds to expectations in the same way. There are upholders who respond to internal and external. So these are the very disciplined people that you see online who seem to follow through with whatever they tell themselves to do and whatever society tells them to do. There are questioners which only follow internal expectations. So they only do things if they understand it. And if you tell them to do something, they will ask you why. And the third tendency is obligers, where they cannot keep themselves accountable because they only follow external expectations and they will oblige to pleasing other people. And lastly, we have the rebels who don't follow external expectations. The more they're forced to do something, the less likely they want to do it. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I realized that I'm a questioner. I only do things when I understand it. And that just explains so much because whenever people tell me to do something, I kind of do it if it helps them. But if it doesn't help them and they tell me to do something, it's like there's this invisible barrier. It's like a resistance, like, oh, should I really be doing this? But I wasn't aware of it. And that's kind of why sometimes I fall off the bad habits. I don't really know why I'm doing them. But once I realize, oh, this is bad because of blah blah blah, I no longer do the bad habit. And this just really helped me in the past few months because before I wasn't really into the gym that much. But when I started reminding myself, oh, this will make you feel better, it'll make you look stronger, make you more attractive. It's like I was more likely to go to the gym when I instilled the reason why it's important. So now, whenever I try to convince myself to do something, I explain myself with a lot of information, and so far it's been working a lot. If you want to figure out your four tendencies, just go on Google and search the four tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, take the quiz, figure out which one's yours, and let me know in the comments which ones you ended up with. And the third lesson is systems over goals. You see, at the start of January, I set goals for myself, which is $5,000 a month, 4.0 GPA, was it bigger physical frame, and better social skills. Now, they were great for setting direction, and I was inspired at the start. But around February and March, I started to fall off because it felt like I didn't remember the goals that I set, or it just felt like I was being pressured too much. And that's when I realized, when I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, systems are better than goals because goals, it's like a black and white situation. Either you achieve it and you're relieved, or you don't achieve it and you're disappointed in yourself. But when you focus on the system, on the habits that get you to the goal, it's like every day you're ticking off a box and you're making slow progress over time. And just realizing that you're making progress, at least for me, it kept me motivated and kept the momentum up so that I didn't really feel disappointed in myself. So what I should have done was on January, set the goals, like write it somewhere in the notebook, then like hide the notebook and just forget about the goal. Then just focus on the day-to-day tasks that will lead to the goal. Because I know at the back of my head what I should be doing, right? I don't have to constantly obsess over the goal. Now, this works for different kinds of people. But for my personality, when I obsess over outcome goal, I become more stressed and I'm less likely to achieve it. So the thing that really helped me was when I focused on the systems, the time that I wake up, the habits that I do every single day, the work tasks, that things that I can control. When I focus on that and detach from the outcome, ironically, I was more likely to get better grades. I was more likely to uh, progress in client work, and all these things that YouTubers tell you that, oh, you should obsess over the goal. Sure, it works for them, but the point of life is to experiment and find what works for you. So if it doesn't work for you, then you're probably like me. If you have the same personality as me, then stop obsessing over outcome goals and focus on the system instead. So those were the three main lessons I learned in quadrant 1 of 2024. If you like this video, let me know. I'll make another video around 3 months from now to talk about quadrant 2. And I hope that I'll actually be more consistent in making videos.